All right, let's jump right in. Today we're going deep on AI and quantum computing.
Two huge topics.
I know, right? I've got a great interview here with a top AI expert and then this panel discussion on the future of both. It's a lot.
It is, but exciting stuff.
For sure. Like one question I had, how can AI even design physics experiments? That blew my mind.
Right. And then there's this whole thing about dark manufacturing. What even is that?
Yeah, and then they get into like, could AI create a world without scarcity?
Whoa. Okay, now I'm really intrigued. Let's dive in.
Okay, so first up, this AI expert. He was talking about how AI is already changing every industry. But he said it's not just one thing, it's a whole spectrum of tech. What did he mean by that?
He's right. It's not just like the Terminator, right? It's everything from like basic robots you see in factories
Oh, right.
to self-driving cars, which are way more complex. It's all AI, just different levels.
And his advice to companies was interesting and focused on using AI to fix specific problems.
Yeah, he called them pain points. Like, don't just use AI because it's cool. Use it where it actually helps.
Smart. He gave this example, dark manufacturing. I'd never heard of that before.
Me neither. Basically, it's a factory that's so automated it doesn't even need lights because there's no people, just robots doing everything in the dark.
Whoa, that's kind of creepy, but also super efficient, I guess.
Right. But then it makes you think about all the jobs that are disappearing.
Yeah, the expert even told this story about visiting a factory and realizing, hey, the tech he's promoting could put these people out of work.
It's a tough situation for sure. We need to think about how to help people adapt. Like, what new skills will they need?
Totally. This is where education and job training becomes so important, right? We need to be preparing people for the jobs of the future, whatever those may be.
Exactly. Being proactive is key. And then there's the whole issue of regulating AI. It's a huge debate right now, especially in Europe with the EU's AI Act.
Yeah, I was reading about that. It sounds like they're trying to protect people, but also not stifle innovation. It's a tough balance.
It is. The expert mentioned some companies are even holding back on releasing their most advanced AI because of these rules.
Really? Like who?
Big names, even Meta and Apple, are hesitant because they don't want to get penalized.
I guess it makes sense. They don't want to invest all this time and money only to have their product blocked.
Right. But then we've already seen examples of AI gone wrong. Like at that system in the US, Compass.
I read about that, the one that judges use to decide on parole.
Yeah, and studies showed it was biased against certain people based on race and things like that. That's scary.
Super scary. Shows we need some guardrails for sure. Okay, so that's a lot on AI, but we also have quantum computing to talk about. This is where it gets really complex.
The panel discussion actually started with everyone admitting that quantum computing is super hard to understand.
Well, good. I'm not alone then. So how about you give me the ELI 5, explain it like I'm 5 version. What is quantum computing?
Okay, so basically, imagine a regular computer uses bits, which are like a light switch, on or off, 0 or 1.
Okay, got it.
Quantum computers use qubits. Now, stay with me. A qubit can be 0, 1, OR, both at the same time.
Both at the same time. My brain just glitched.
Right. It's this whole quantum mechanics thing, like Schrodinger's cat,
Oh, yeah. The cat's both dead and alive until you look in the box.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what makes quantum computing so powerful. It can explore tons of possibilities at once instead of one at a time.
Okay, that's kind of blowing my mind. But so how do AI and quantum computing work together?
Well, the panel was saying AI can be used to design quantum experiments, which is wild.
AI designing experiments, that's so meta.
Right. Like we need AI to help us unlock the secrets of quantum.
So AI is basically the key to understanding quantum computing. That's fascinating.
And then there's the idea of using quantum computers to make AI even faster. Imagine that.
Wow, okay, this is all very sci-fi. But with great power comes great responsibility, right? The panel had some concerns too.
Oh, yeah, big ones. Like, what if quantum computers become so powerful they can break all our encryption?
Our passwords, banking info, everything.
Potentially, yeah. That's what they call quantum espionage. Someone could steal data now and decrypt it later when the tech exists.
That's terrifying. And I bet there are other risks too, right? Like with AI getting into the wrong hands.
Definitely. That's a huge concern. Imagine AI being used to disrupt power grids. Or, worse, we need to think about ethics and regulations now.
Absolutely. We can't just let this stuff develop unchecked. This is heavy stuff we're talking about.
It is, and we're just getting started. Yeah, it's a lot to think about. But, aside from these big, scary scenarios, there's also some really practical stuff quantum computing could be used for that the panel talked about.
Oh, right. They went into that too, didn't they?
Yeah.
Breaking encryption was the big one, but there was more.
Right, like imagine searching through huge amounts of data instantly.
Oh yeah, that would be amazing. No more waiting for Google to load.
Exactly. Quantum algorithms could speed up all kinds of searches, which is useful for like everything from finding a specific file on your computer
Right, right.
to like scientific research, combing through tons of data.
And they were saying it could even help with, like, logistics and stuff.
Yeah, anything where you need to find the best solution out of millions of possibilities, that's where quantum computers would shine. They're like super powered optimizers.
I can see how that would be useful for, like, shipping routes and stuff, finding the most efficient way to move things around.
Exactly. And then there's the whole thing about simulating molecules.
Oh, yeah, they were saying that could be huge for drug discovery and material science.
It's like instead of doing experiments in a lab, you could simulate them on a quantum computer and see how things interact.
So it's like a virtual lab for scientists. That's wild.
It is, and way faster than traditional methods. You could test out tons of different drug combinations or materials in no time.
It's kind of blowing my mind. So we've gone from robots in the dark to simulating molecules. This deep dive has been quite a journey.
It has, but I think the main point is both AI and quantum computing are advancing so quickly, and it's both exciting and a little scary.
Yeah, for sure. We need to be having these conversations now, figuring out how to use these technologies responsibly.
Exactly. We don't want to just react to changes. We want to be shaping the future.
Well said. I think our listener has a lot to think about after this conversation.
I hope so. It's important stuff.
Welcome back. So we've talked about what AI and quantum computing can do, but now I'm thinking, what do they mean for us, for humanity, like big picture stuff?
That's the big question, isn't it? Are we building a utopia or are we headed for a sci-fi nightmare?
Right. I mean, all this talk about dark manufacturing, robots taking over, it's a bit unnerving. Makes you wonder, what will our purpose be if machines can do everything?
I think that's the wrong way to look at it. Instead of being scared of being replaced, we should be thinking about what this tech can free us to do.
You mean like all the stuff we can't do in AW because we're busy working just to survive?
Yeah, imagine if AI and quantum computing could solve problems like hunger, disease, poverty. We could focus on things like art, exploration, just being human.
Okay, that does sound pretty utopian. But would we even know what to do with ourselves? Like, if work isn't a necessity anymore, what gives life meaning?
That's the challenge, right? Finding purpose in a world of abundance. But I think we're creative enough to figure it out. Humans are naturally curious. We want to learn, explore, connect. Those things don't just go away because we have more free time.
So it's not about being useless. It's about redefining what useful even means.
Exactly. This could be a chance to, like, level up as a species.
Instead of being afraid, we should be thinking about how to use this tech to make a better future.
Absolutely. AI and quantum computing aren't the problem, they're tools. It's up to us to decide how to use them.
That's a good point. We have the power to shape this future, and it's exciting and a little scary all at the same time.
It is, but that's what makes this whole conversation so important.
Well, on that note, I think we've done a pretty good job unpacking all this complex stuff.
Yeah, I think our listeners have a lot to think about.
Thanks for joining me for this deep dive. It's been a wild ride, exploring the world of AI and quantum computing. And to everyone listening, keep learning, keep asking questions, and remember, the future is what we make it.